And welcome to the Main Event Sports Show. We're coming to you live from the greatness that is the Old Louisville Pizza Pub here at 1201 South Oak in the heart of Old Louisville. Man, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody for listening, because without you, this would not be possible. So we're here doing one of our favorite segments here on the Main Event Sports Show. We're doing our, what we like to call the main event on politics, because, a lot of times sports and politics kind of intersect, and with the May primary coming up in just 2 weeks, we want to make sure that all our viewers and listeners are educated as to the goings on here in Louisville, Jefferson County. And if you're not in Louisville, Jefferson County, hey, still watch anyway, because I'm telling you, you learn a lot, because we have a lot of dynamic folks on all the time, and you will learn a lot. And actually, one of the guys we have on today is running for mayor for the city of Louisville in the Democratic primary. His name is Ryan Fenwick, and he's challenging the incumbent himself, Mr. Greg Fisher. Ryan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing tonight, Haven?
Doing really good, Ryan. So let me ask you a question. First of all, if you can, tell our viewers, a little bit about yourself.
My name is Ryan Fenwick. I'm running against Greg Fisher, like you said, in the Democratic primary. I believe strongly it's time for a change. I'm an attorney. I have a master's degree in urban planning. I have a lot of experience in the grassroots. Just stepped off the executive committee of Kentuckians for the Commonwealth. And yeah, I've been running a hard race since October, getting out there talking to people, going door to door, trying to find as many people as events as possible, hear what people care about in this community.
Awesome. Now, if I can ask you a question, so what made you decide to run for mayor?
The first time I ever thought about it, I was working in a large coalition led by West End residents. I was a volunteer with Kentuckians for the Commonwealth. And what happened is there was this methane plant that the city was trying to put in the California neighborhood. So hundreds of volunteer hours go into trying to stop this methane plant. I mean, everyone's up in arms. Everybody's out trying to get it stopped. We're calling the mayor. We're writing letters to the editor. We're doing absolutely everything we can do to get it stopped. Well, eventually it comes down to a board hearing, and the mayor's appointed everybody on the board, and it looked like we'd lost it. Well, I mean, eventually the developer ended up pulling out of that project, but the reality is there was still so much wasted effort that went into stopping this project that was obviously bad for the neighborhood. I mean, people knew it could cause an explosion. People knew it could be more air pollution in a part of the city that already has bad air quality. It was really a ridiculous development in the first place, and it should have been put somewhere else.
Oh, wow, okay, so you first got started in the whole methane plant with, I believe that was Steve Estes and his guys trying to put the methane plant there in West Louisville. And so after that, you decided, you know what, things need to change. I feel like
That's
the deck
right.
is stacked. I'm going to run for mayor.
Well, after that, it became really apparent to me that Greg Fisher shouldn't be mayor, and I knew that we needed somebody to be the mayor of Louisville who is going to pay attention to what people out in neighborhoods, out in the community want to see for the city. So me and some people that I've spent years volunteering with started looking around to see if an Attica Scott, a David James, if a Chris Cobb, if somebody with maybe more name recognition and fundraising clout was going to enter the race. And nobody was willing to challenge the mayor because everybody thought he was unbeatable. But, we get out there and it turns out lots of people are mad at him. I knew there would be at least 10,000 people because that's about how many people had spent time directly protesting him on various issues.
Oh, wow, okay. So, okay, good deal. So you start with 10,000 strong. So, what are some of the issues that are near and dear to your heart that you really can maybe draw that contrast between you and Greg?
Well, I think the biggest difference is the current administration's very top-down. They have this corporate style of government, and they just aren't really interested in listening to what people out in neighborhoods, what people out in the community really want to see for the city. So some of the things that I really think we can do a lot better here in Louisville is, first, I think we've got to fire our police chief, replace him with someone who knows how to do community policing. We're locking up a lot of people with mental health and drug addiction problems. We're not getting even close to the root of gang problems, and it's because we're just not taking an evidence-based approach to policing. We're addicted to this hotspot policing, and it's basically just combining up low-level offenders. we got to do better with air quality. We have unacceptably bad air quality in the city, and we need to make sure we're enforcing our local air quality regulations. We need to put a strong voice for the community on the air pollution control district so people can participate in the monitoring and regulation of emissions in Louisville. I also really want us to start a participatory budgeting program. Participatory budgeting lets people identify and vote on initiatives they want to see funded. It's extremely popular wherever it's done, because after all, it's y'all's tax money. Shouldn't you have a say in how it's spent here?
Oh, wow, there we go.
Well, I'm Terrence Chandler here as an intern for Main Event Sports. What I want to know is like, what made you like get into politics and stuff?
Well, I was in law school. I was studying urban planning. I was earning my master's degree, and I started first by looking at what it would be like to have a job in a city, and that kind of led me to start seeing how important the grassroots was to how the city made decisions. So I got involved with a group called Kentuckians for the Commonwealth. That's the largest progressive grassroots organization in the state. And I just started seeing that politicians aren't these super geniuses who know so much more than us that we can't even understand their processes. In fact, a lot of times volunteers who spend a little bit of time researching can teach politicians a lot about the decisions they're trying to make. So I got real heavy into electoral politics, especially on the local level, and I just started to see that regular people can really make a difference locally if they put their minds to it.
Oh, I feel another question coming on. Oh, you lost it.
Okay, just to bring things kind of, I guess, not necessarily current, but kind of to mix the two things together with what we do normally, which is sports, and what your platform is in terms of running for mayor. What would be your take on bringing a professional sports team to Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the price. You know, the city has a long history of giving out really large incentive packages for big money interests. So we've given out $200 million in this one kind of incentive that has to be paid back over 20 years. It's how we built the Omni Hotel, and it's how we built the soccer stadium. Now, however you feel about soccer, I think you've really got to question how we're going to recapture this money that we're putting into these projects.
I agree.
So I think an NBA team would be great. I think there's a lot of momentum behind it, but I do really think it's how much money it's going to cost the city. I'm not interested in us putting out a whole lot of millions of dollars so millionaires can capture a little bit more profit off having an NBA team. But I'm sure not opposed to it either.
Right. I agree.
There we go. Now, you know, just recently, I believe just today, actually, in the Courier Journal, we're coming to find out that the mayor's office has had the Explorer program report, and they held it back, and they're holding it back until their lawyers can kind of go through it and make sure that it's not any private information is leaked on air. They want to make sure that.
This is in relation to what now?
Okay, so this is related to, for those who don't know, this related to the Explorer program that was run by LMPD, the Louisville Metro Police Department.
Got you, the Explorer program.
Yeah, to where they had a mentoring program for youth, and two other officers, I do believe, allegedly molested several of the kids in the program. And it seems like that some of the administration was kind of slow-footing the process,
That's right.
if you will, of trying to investigating things of that nature. The report came out, I do believe in April, it was done, and the mayor's office has still been sitting on it. So, like, what's your thoughts on that? You know, as mayor, would you sit on that program? Would you let it out, or what was kind of your thoughts there?
I think the report's been disappointing the whole time. I think Metro Council's had to work really hard to get the little bit of information we have about the scandal public. So the administration has had this information for 2 months. The report's been done. The administration's lawyers had it for about 2 months. And now, just days before it was supposed to be released, just, a week before the primary, they're announcing that they're going to delay the release of this report until just a little bit after the primary. It seems kind of suspicious to me. If you're proud of how you're administering the city, if you're sure that you're monitoring your police chief appropriately, and you're proud of how the police has handled this issue, it seems like you should have nothing to hide in this report. And I'm very disappointed. I mean, of course we have a duty to protect everybody who was abused in this scandal. There's no doubt about it. But the fact is the court hasn't put a gag order on it. There's something less restrictive than just withholding the entire report that could be done that would protect the people who were abused in the scandal and give the public the information that we deserve.
Sorry, we don't mean to laugh at your answer there, but our good friend Alejandro's over there messing with my man's car over here like he's trying to smash it up.
So for anyone who doesn't know, there's literally an open door right here, and we have Old Louisville happening just
That's
right
right.
outside the door.
Just old Louisville happening right there. So, Ron, before we go, man, what would you like the listeners and our viewers to know about Ron Fenwick and your campaign for mayor?
I think that this campaign is really important. This is a big opportunity. We have a long history of electing mayors that are supported by the wealthiest interests in this entire city. And just the fact is, rich people aren't ready to come listen to what the community values about itself. Y'all need to get out and vote on May 22nd. You'd be shocked by how few votes it would take to elect a mayor that's ready to listen to this community.
Hey, there we go. My man running for mayor, Ron Fenwick. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in.
Good luck. Good luck.
This has been Main Event on Politics. Hey, stay tuned. We got a lot more interviews coming up. And actually, on our next segment, it's time to break down what happened to Queen James
Wait, Queen James, hold tight.
in the first game against the Celtics. Man, we got to talk about that.
Dude,
and
this
much,
is set
much
up.
more.
They got them right where they want them, dude. It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of it. Hey, for all the listeners and viewers out there, please hit subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any comments, anything you want to leave for my good friend over here, Ryan Fenwick, leave them in the comments below. We'll answer them. And thanks for tuning in to Main Event on TV. We'll be right back.